What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big O, and I am back once again in the building. Brand new video. Let's get into it. Today's video. So recently, I've been getting a lot of questions about these particular structures that I build, the PVC platforms, and a lot of people want to know how it is that I get them to look the way that I get them to look. So I did a previous video when I built this one, I do believe, and I kind of went into it, but I didn't go into it enough. Please forgive me for the glare. I hate it. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go sort of step by step with a little more detail, basically just explaining what it takes and what I do in particular to get these platforms to look how they do. So I'm going to show you one that's already built, and then I'm going to show you the pieces that I use to make another one, and we're going to put it together. So stay tuned. So we're back, and here we are with all of the materials that you're going to need. At first glance, kind of looks like a bunch of stuff, but it's really not. This is the one that I already have made. This is going to be for my narrow bridge musk turtle. It's going to serve as a shallow water platform. It's basically, I'd say 85 to 90% done. All I have to do is get a piece of egg crate that's going to fit on top of here, and I'll zip tie the egg crate to that. Well, I'll actually spray paint it before I zip tie it, just so you make sure you get all the little, nooks and crannies, so to speak, of the egg crate. And then on top of the egg crate, I'll zip tie this material. It's sort of like a plastic hardware cloth material. And, again, you can get all these things at Home Depot, except maybe the Krylon Fusion, but I'll get into that in just a moment. So again, just to recap, I'll paint the egg crate, attach the plastic hardware cloth to the egg crate, and then attach that on top of here as a surface. And once everything is painted, you can drill your holes. I like to drill them all across these right here, and maybe 1 or 2 in the legs, so that way when you stick it in your aquarium or your enclosure, whatever it is you're going to use, the water will flow inside of the pipe, and it'll make it a lot heavier, making it slightly more difficult for your turtle to move it around, because as we know, these animals love to redecorate their enclosures. So again, just giving you a quick look at what it is that we're going for. Super basic, super simple. And of course, the materials that you're going to need. So these first 4, the shorter ones, are going to be like your sides for the top part. Then the 4 we have right here, the longer ones, are obviously going to be the legs. Then these 4 pieces here are the end caps that I like to put on the bottom. If I can get this one off. They might not be 100% necessary, but I just like to use them. And these right here are going to be these corners. So they're actually 2 separate pieces. As you might, there you go, you should be able to see it there. There's a thread on this one side, which is actually smaller than a 1/2 inch. So no thread, no thread. And this opening right here is 1/2 inch. Now, I don't know if they just don't make these available where this won't be necessary. In other words, if they were all 3 sides were 1/2 inch with no thread. But I've never seen them. Maybe they don't, maybe they do. But this is how I've always done it. I take these 2 pieces. All you gotta do, obviously, screw that on, tighten it up, and now you have your 90-degree angle ready for the PVC. And this will obviously be the bottom part where you, it's gonna hold the legs. And then here, I highly recommend, if you're gonna be working with PVC, you get yourself one of these. These is PVC shears. You might have seen this tiny little piece that I have. And I'm only gonna, I was only holding on to this to show off how easy it is to cut this stuff with one of these shears. These shears aren't very expensive either. And if you're gonna be, like I said, if you're gonna be working with this stuff, you just squeeze until you make contact there, and you kind of just, it's that simple. Doesn't need that much pressure to be applied. And I've actually had this pair for quite some time, years in fact, and it works just fine. So get yourself a good pair of PVC shears and make things easier on yourself. So we're gonna get rid of that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this thing together. Oops. Adjust the camera here. So, first things first, let's start with the top part. If I can just grab these 4 pieces. And what we'll do is, we'll take one piece, and you have one side. Then repeat. Well, I kind of went an extra step there, but that would be the other side. Now you take one of the 2 sides and just add the other 2 shorter pieces. So now it looks like this. And you just go ahead and bring these 2 together. Might have to play around with it a little bit and make sure everything is nice and tight. And you just kind of squeeze, push everything together, and there it is. Top of the frame. All we need to do now, add the legs. One by one. And there it is. Again, super easy, super simple, super basic. Now, go ahead and apply the end caps. Flip it back up. Push it down, give it a good squeeze. If you want, you can even give it a nice little tap. Make sure everything is nice and snug. And just about done. Like I said, this is super simple, super basic. And you know, just get out there, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, go wherever it is that you may be able to pick up these sorts of supplies, and you know, experiment. Take a look at all of the pieces that are available, and see how that may apply to whatever needs that need to be met in your particular enclosure. You know, do you want to make a basking area? Do you want to make a shallow water platform? Do you want to make a combination of both? Do you want to make some sort of ramp? I mean, it's really up to you and how far your imagination will go. So again, all we need to do now, get the egg crate, paint it, zip tie the plastic hardware cloth onto the egg crate and zip tie that on top of here to create a nice surface. And then we will paint this whole thing with the Cryoline Fusion, which I'm gonna get into in just a second. And after that's all painted, you drill holes in it so the water will flow inside of the pipes, again making it a little heavier so your turtles won't be trying to knock everything around all over the place, or at least to make it slightly more difficult for them to move it around, because when they feel like moving something, they're gonna move it. It's just how it goes. But I'm gonna get into all that in just a second, as soon as I finish talking about this stuff right here, my handy dandy Krylon Fusion spray paint that is apparently made specifically for bonding onto plastic, and it has the added benefit of being aquarium safe. So you want to give it a nice good coat of paint. I use a combination of black and the green right now for my platforms. They come in tons of colors, so it's really up to you. I know it says right there it dries in 15 minutes or less, but I would definitely give this at least 24 hours to completely like cure before you add it to any aquarium. I definitely give it a little longer than that, sometimes 2 or 3 days, but it kind of depends how much paint on use on that particular structure. But all I'm saying is wait a lot longer than 15 minutes. One thing about these, this is probably the only thing in this video that you won't find at Home Depot. At least I don't find it in the Home Depots that are, I guess, in my area. I haven't found it in any retail store, actually. I've tried Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, you name it. Haven't been able to find it. So I usually just get these off Amazon. Again, they come in tons of colors. So, it's really up to you what you want your aquarium to look like. I use it just because I don't like how this white pipe just kind of like stands out in my aquariums. So I go for something a little darker, and it works for me. So we're gonna move on to the next step. I'm gonna grab the egg crate. I'm gonna spray down one of these to show you the difference between the two, and we'll be back. And we are back with the finished product right next to the unfinished product, just so you can get an even better look at how these things are done. As you can see, if I can pick this thing up, it's completely painted, except maybe the bottom, but I'll take care of that after. I just kind of haphazardly just spray the paint all over the structure, and I kind of alternate between the two colors just to kind of give it a little more, I don't know, character, I guess. But as you can see, the top part is the plastic hardware cloth on top of the egg crate. I didn't show this off before, but this is what the hardware cloth, this is what it looks like. Comes in a gigantic roll. It'll last you for a long time, and it's also cheap, and you can of course also get it at Home Depot. And once again, let's get a much better look at it. It's all painted. Still needs to dry for some time until I introduce it into the aquarium itself, and everything is zip tied down. I have these smaller black zip ties that I used to attach the hardware cloth to the egg crate, and then I attach that whole thing to the PVC. So just to review everything other than the PVC and all the necessary connections that you need to have some sort of Krylon spray paint. Color is really pretty much up to you. You need to also have some PVC shears, and I didn't mention this before, even though it was laying right there the entire time. A tape measure. You need to get yourself some egg crate, which I don't have the one whole giant piece, but this is, what it looks like after I painted it this is from a previous structure that I had. I was just using this as an example. Egg crate comes in these large sheets. It's a light diffuser. You can also get it at Home Depot. You're gonna need zip ties, and I think that's about it. Once again, we'll do a side by side. Like I said, this one is going to be from my Pacific Coast Giant Mexican Musk, or Chiapas Mexican Musk, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be from my narrow bridge. And that's pretty much it. All I have to do is take the last couple steps just the exact same way I did on this one. And really, the only thing left after it dries and before you put it into the aquarium, as you can see, I haven't drilled any holes yet. But you get a drill maybe 2 or 3 holes down the sides of these pipes, and maybe 2 or 3 down the length of the legs. And you'll be all set. Good to go, 100% done. So, I think basically the thing that I'm trying to get across the most is that if you see it, especially if you've never seen it before or anything like it before, and you don't know how someone built it, it might look complicated, but all you gotta do is kind of just break it down, and you realize how simple and how easy it is to actually make. And I'm not just talking about these, I'm talking about many things in life, even though this video is particularly about these. But just keep that in mind. If you think something is difficult at first, if you kind of just pay a little attention to it and sort of try to unravel the details, I guess you can say, you notice that it will not be difficult to do at all. So, with that being said, if you like content that I'm putting out, if you're enjoying the videos, if you got any good information off of this video in particular, if I've inspired or just helped anyone along to build anything like this, definitely subscribe. Definitely go ahead and give this video a like. Follow me on Instagram at @the_turtle_essence. And until next time, happy reptile keeping. Peace.